Okay, I think we are live. Hey, Press.
Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
I'm good. I am good. How's the weather over there?
It
And
feels like West Hell here. The West Side.
oh, okay. But you were inside enjoying some central air, I'm guessing?
Yes, yes, I
Yep.
am.
Okay. All right.
Won't catch me outside right now, not till the sun go down.
hmm So you mentioned yesterday that your son asked about Tesla stock. What was that conversation about?
Yeah, he asked me did I know who Elon Musk was, and I
Oh,
said no. Who is he? He said, well, he's the CEO of Tesla. I
oh,
was like,
okay.
wow. I just said no, just to see what he would say, see if he knew.
Okay. You were being a good dad there. I remember one time my daughter came home and asked me if I knew what the centripetal force was. And I said, "Yeah, I know." And I'm explaining it, and I should have just said like I should have been like what you just said.
Uh-huh.
You're like, "No, what is that? Tell me about it." So,
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that. I'll act like I don't know just to see if he actually knows, and he be
yeah.
blowing my mind. I'll be like, "Wow." He'd
Yes.
be like, "Did you know?" I'd be like, "Nah, I ain't know that. That's interesting. Tell me more." And he'll get in more detail. Wow.
So yeah, I learned. I learned. I'm a better mom now. I would have done what you did and been like, "Oh, really? Now I think I did know, but tell me about this."
I play dumb.
Yeah. But that makes kids happy when they're excited, like they're teaching you something.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. All right. So I see nothing going on in the chat. I wonder if, let me see. Let me test out the chat, see if the chat is working on our end. Okay. So let's start with our topics of the week. Now, this past week earnings. Let's start off with, well, we're going to be talking about Netflix, Bank of America, and Johnson and Johnson. So let's start off with Netflix. And I did a video a couple of days ago on Netflix. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, so far from what I have written down here in my notes, they had an earnings per share beat by 2.47%, and they also had a revenue beat of 0.30%. Now, as far as the forward guidance, I didn't really listen to the earnings call, but however, I don't own Netflix long term. Let's be 100% transparent about that. I do not currently own Netflix long term. However, it is included inside of my main ETF, which is VTI. Why I don't own it is simply because it wasn't on my mind at the time when I was building out my portfolio. Would I own it? Yeah, I would if I had the room for it to add it to my possession. I would probably have about a 2% total allocation dedicated to Netflix in my entire portfolio. That would be level three of my pyramid. But as far as the forward guidance, I'm not sure as to what their forward guidance was.
Okay, okay. These are a few of my slides from the video that I did do. They really are thriving when it comes to subscriber growth expectations for Q2. But it seems like every time they just really thrive. Whether it's international or the U.S. when it comes to subscriber growth, and of course, what they did with really cutting down on the password sharing um, set themselves up even better for that because it seems that they have people want their service and even with the password sharing they had to suck it up and just figure out a way because they needed their Netflix back. So let me see.
I really like Netflix though as an investment.
Mhm.
I noticed that they're expanding their business. They're getting more customers. They're bringing in more customers. Like I just got news that the WWE will soon start showing Monday Night Raw on Netflix, as well as they're branching off into sports like boxing and things of that nature. I believe the next Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight is going to be on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix subscription, you already have access to that versus paying $80 for a boxing match pay per view. That we would get from Showtime or something like that. Like that was really ridiculous. And
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I did see that in the news also. And I do not hold Netflix as an individual investment either, but you know, and you have many more. I think you have more investments in your portfolio because of the way you break it down. So yeah, I think it is a choice that would not have disappointed anyone if they got into it years back. And let's see. Anything else on Netflix earnings?
no, that's it with Netflix. That's
No.
all I had
All
on
right.
Netflix.
Let's move on to Bank of America. I know I had alerts set from on last Sunday. I set some alerts for Bank of America. I did not. I am also not invested into Bank of America, nor did I do any trades or options on it last week. But I did set up an alert to see what the price movement was, and I saw they hit all time highs more than once. I got a notification of 52, not all time. I'm sorry, it was probably 52-week highs they
Yeah.
hit multiple times last week. So, can we get an update on how their earnings went, Press?
Okay, Bank of America earnings per share was a beat at 3.58%, and they had a revenue beat of 0.69%. Now, I'm also not aware of their forward guidance because I really don't have time to be listening to a lot of these earning calls. But
Mm.
from my understanding, they must have had pretty good forward guidance because of the performance of the actual stock during Friday's, throughout the course of the week, along with the other banks that reported earnings previously. I noticed a nice pop in the share price appreciation in the financial sector throughout the course of the week while big tech was selling off.
So, let me see what else. What notes did I have here on this? Loan growth and increased interest income. So yeah, the banking sector with everything with inflation and these high rates, uh, well, just in general, the banking sector is just an individual stock that I just never really got down to investing into as an individual company. I did have some when I had my M1 account. I did have Bank of America in there, but that's the account that I barely ever use, and now I've gone ahead and just liquidated that. So I don't know. I think, like most, I gravitated towards investing into technology, the Apple and Google and those
Hmm.
type of things, and then some thought went into some other smaller things like the Disney and the Target, but I never gravitated towards any financials. So now I know you had this one in your portfolio and you cut it out if I recall correctly when they made their changes. That's Johnson and Johnson.
Yes.
How did their earnings turn out?
Johnson & Johnson had an earnings per share beat of 4.31%, and they also had a revenue beat of 0.49%. Now, for those who don't know, they weren't around when I closed out my Johnson and Johnson position. I simply closed out that position because they split the pharmaceutical side and the consumer product side into two different companies. They basically did what is called a spinoff. And I really didn't agree with that. So like y'all been doing good at everything under one umbrella for so long. What's the sudden change for? So yes, I closed out my Johnson and Johnson position in profit, but even if it wasn't in profit, I could have been slightly red or a lot of red. I would have closed out my position anyway because I would have felt as though maybe this share price is going to come down more, and I don't want to sit here and look at it, watch it go to almost zero or new 52-week lows for that matter. I'm exaggerating with the zero part. Johnson and Johnson not going anywhere.
Okay. Okay. Uh, are you able to check? Is it streaming okay on my side?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So that's it for the past week earnings. Let's talk about some other news that went on. Biden's warning on the trade restrictions. I don't even know. I don't even know where yeah, let's deal with Biden before we talk about Trump.
Okay, so basically, it's what's going on in the market right now is very politically driven, as well as rate hikes and things of that nature. I mean, not rate hikes, but the rate cuts and inflation, and now unemployment is starting to rear its nasty head in the economy. And a lot of these things need to happen because the overall market needs to cool off. So I'm looking at it like that. The market needs to cool off. So what event is going to take place for the cause this slight pullback that we need because the market's been running so hot for so long. It's like you got to take profit somewhere when you're a big institutional investor or a hedge fund or something like that. You got to take profit somewhere and rotate those profits into other sectors. And that's what I'm saying going on right now. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to stay the course and dollar cost average into what I've been dollar cost averaging into, on a consistent basis because like I said, it could be a potential scare tactic to force smaller, inexperienced investors out of their good long-term positions, so that the institutions and hedge funds could buy up these shares at a much lower price. That's basically what I see going on.
Mhm. Well, they're the ones that actually have the power to influence something like that,
Right,
because
right, right.
uh, so what are your thoughts on, like, Biden's administration, these restrictions and how it's affecting certain tech companies, chip makers? Do you have any concern when it comes to that, or do you think that people need to be more mindful of their strategy when it comes to specifically advanced chip uh, companies that are mostly focused on that?
I would say I'm not very concerned about it, but what I would say is be mindful as to investing into foreign companies like your ADR companies and things of that nature because of events like this that can happen, the politics and like we covered this on a previous show about ADRs, American Depository Receipts. That's your companies like your Neo and things of that
Mhm.
nature. It's not based out of the United States. You're buying this is basically the shares you're buying here in the United States are basically I owe you a share in this other country, and you could have double tax implementations just for holding on to a stock that's from a foreign company, as well as these political events that could, one of these presidential candidates or the current sitting president could come on the TV and say something and it could cause a reaction as far as the share price of these said companies.
Okay. So when it comes to the trade restrictions, can you talk a little bit about what is the point of them doing this? Why do they want to prevent the chips from being sold to China? What do you think the bottom, the
I think it's like a control type of thing. One country wants to control the world, and this other country doesn't want this country to control the world, and things of that nature. Or they don't want certain countries, bullying on smaller countries because they got some sort of resource like oil or something like that. That's what I see going on right now. But
Mhm.
in case anybody didn't know, word on the street is that the current sitting president has officially dropped out of the presidential race this coming year. I just was reading about that right before we started this show. So it's about to get crazy. A lot of more uncertainty is now about to come into the market now that he's officially dropped out of the race.
I had not seen that news
Yes,
that it
yes, I
was
just
official.
saw that like
I
right
I've
before
seen
I.
I've been definitely seeing the pressure and the, speculation, but I had not seen that. All right. So let's touch on the trend this week that it was non-tech sectors and kind of the smaller caps moved up in were thriving more than the norm, the large cap companies.
Like I said, the market has ran up high. Like mainly it was led by the tech sector, your Mag 7 stocks to be exact.
Mhm.
And this current bull market that we're in, it basically needs to cool off just a little bit in order for it to continue to go higher. Like I said, you have institutional investors and hedge funds and things of that nature that are starting to take profit on big tech because big tech been running so hot the past few months since I think October. And the small cap companies like your companies that are rate hike sensitive, they're starting to get a little bit of love as far as the big money starting to flow into them now because of the rumors of the potential rate cuts coming in September. And word on the street is we may get more than one rate cut this year.
Mhm. So have you ever looked at any small cap ETFs? I know one of our faves is VTI. This is total stock market. But have you ever, is there anything in your portfolio that you think ties to the small cap, or have you ever looked at the ETF? I pulled up one I was looking at yesterday. Do you think that that's something that people should for the future kind of mix into their portfolio to give themselves more exposure to that range? So that would be probably like going by market cap. That's going to bring like the grouping of companies that are probably like starting from like 45 and on below, whereas we're probably more definitely familiar with the top of the Fortune 500 companies. I'm sure I could get probably the top of the first 40 we're looking at. We would all
Mhm.
know them. Well, some people don't even know Nvidia, so most of us would. But have you ever taken a look at any small cap ETFs or individual stocks that you were interested in adding to your portfolio, or do you feel like that there are any that you can mention that you currently invest into?
As far as a ETF, like for the Russell 2000,
Mhm,
um, I haven't currently looked at any, but
mhm.
for someone who was interested in it, I wouldn't keep it. I would keep it at no more than 1% of my entire portfolio. It would go right on level five with the other small to mid cap companies, companies that are not yet profitable. And I wouldn't plan on holding on to it forever. It will be more like a seasonal type of trade. I will hold it for maybe a few months, 6 months to a year, and then I will reevaluate the position and potentially be looking to take some sort of profit while I'm collecting the dividend. But I will be very mindful as to the expense ratio as well as the potential share appreciation is concerned. I wouldn't just pick any old Russell 2000 ETF. I would probably look for something along the lines of a Vanguard small cap ETF or Charles Schwab small cap ETF if they do have one available. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I
Now,
think
as
that's
far as
actually what I had pulled up was this. It's VB, and that
mhm,
is the Vanguard small cap ETF. And I don't know if I had it written down. What amount do you know offhand, or is it on here?
the
Assets
expense
and
ratio for VB,
no, the what market cap defines being in the small cap area. I know I have it here. Well, let's just finish taking a look at VB. I've never taken a look at it because, like I said, I gravitate towards the large cap or other, other ways of diversification with my ETFs. But these are the top holdings in this, and I not very familiar with any of them at a glance. MicroStrategy, yes. Decker Outdoor, that sounds familiar. Regal, Belia Corp, vaguely familiar, but
hmm
this ETF, it has a high amount in industrial. It does have tech, discretionary, financial. So, but like I said, it's in a lower expense ratio mix than the large cap. So it's market cap between 300 million and 2 billion. So that covers a lot because there's only a few companies out there that are above the 2 billion mark.
right.
3, that's it really, right? So,
hmm
um all right. So yes, I did type in
Yes, IWM is another small cap ETF. I believe it's IWM, not N.
okay.
IWM. Yes, IWM, as in Michael, the knight.
So yeah, I guess like I told you, Prez, I was outside grilling and laying around. I was not watching much news today. If
Mhm,
anything, I was just looking at what we were going to talk about, but I see all over. I can see CBS, um, MSNBC, Fox, every headline that I see on my screen is Biden drops out of 2024 race and endorses Harris. Yes, that's all I'm seeing.
mhm.
Um, It was a news blast. Yes. Okay. So now let's go on to talking about Trump, unless there's anything else that you want to touch on with the small caps or the non-tech sectors and what the influence is on with Biden's tariff restrictions.
No, just in closing, as far as small caps are concerned, there's nothing wrong with owning them long term. Just keep a very small percentage allocated to them. If you feel as though you must have this particular company, because we all have our own favorite companies like startup companies and things of that nature. If you must have it long term, have it at no more than 1% of your entire portfolio. You can have a total of 5 companies that reside on level 5 of your pyramid if you're doing it the way that I do it. And it seems like it's a lot of companies, and it may seem like you're spreading yourself thin, but you're like a kid in the candy store when you learn the joys and the ups and downs of this world we call investing. It's like you open up your brokerage app and you start looking at all these different companies and you're reading news headlines and you don't know what you want to buy. It's like that, at least that's how I feel. So that's why I use the system of investing that I currently use, so that it minimizes my risk, because I don't want to invest in something blindly and it goes to zero. Excuse me, I got to
Yeah.
sneeze.
Bless you. So let's take a station break while we're waiting for press. So thank you everyone for
Thank you.
tuning in. You're welcome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to both of our channels if from whatever side you're watching from. If you're not watching from my side, make sure to subscribe to me. If you're watching from my side, check out Prez the Investor. His link is in the description if you're not familiar with his channel. Also, we post videos throughout the week. Prez is live 3 more days out of the week, at least on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And he has a video that he always puts out at 2 p.m. on Saturdays. I am not so prepared to give a schedule as to when you will find my videos, but hit the notification bell and you will be able to keep up with my latest content. I did really good, Press. I really did. I have posted, today's going to be 8 days straight of not just shorts, but of long form content or a live. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed. I said, yeah, she been getting it in. That's what's up.
Okay, but you didn't even give me a compliment until I over here fishing for it.
I don't want to pump you up and then you stop. And so I'm just being quiet, just watching.
Okay, I'm just messing with you. Uh, thank you, Trudy. I see Trudy's out there dropping those members emojis. Yeah, and I went live last night, guys. Check that live out. It's only I love to be with my co-hosts, but yeah, I did number 3 live by myself. I did yesterday.
I see a question in the chat. Where should I put my money at? Let's get to it. VTI. Start with VTI or VOO.
Let's get to it. Okay. Okay. So, anything else during the station break?
No.
No.
So, also during this week, you had Trump who rattled the market by suggesting Taiwan should pay the United States to defend against China's aggression. And I believe the ticker symbol is TSM, Taiwanese Semiconductor Company. The share price really reacted to it the following day in the stock market. I do not own that particular company long term. I just simply try to invest into companies that are based out of the United States. I try to stay away from American depository type of companies because I don't want to end up having to pay double taxes on my investments, or a political event. One of these politicians get on the podium and say something, and it's causing my investment to react to it. So I don't want that type of risk. I don't want to take on that type of risk, me personally.
Okay. So can you touch on what went on with Trump related to the impact he's having towards the automakers and wanting to bring uh, potentially production that's going on in Mexico? He wants to try to kind of steal that from them, bring it to the U.S. Is that the
That's
is
what
that
I'm
the way
getting.
you would explain it, Press?
Yeah, basically, he's operating like a gangster out here in these streets. So basically, Trump also said in his speech at the Republican National Convention on Thursday night, he expressed openness to Chinese automakers moving production to the United States from Mexico, which he said will create domestic auto jobs, which could potentially be a good thing because we do need more jobs here in the United States. He also threatened to put tariffs, which are basically like fees, taxes. He also threatened to put tariffs on Mexican imports to impede the sale of foreign made cars to the United States drivers. Wall Street thinks a Trump term could be bad for the electric vehicle sector. And of course, you've seen Tesla, which took a nasty dive on Friday, adding to the big tech sell off.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Let's take a look at that. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla. Tesla, let's look at it on the 5 day. So on the week, it's down 6.52%. On Friday alone, down 4.02%. I'm telling you, Tesla started off the week going the total opposite direction. Because I'll tell you, I was trading Tesla on Monday of last week, calls multiple times, and making out very easily. You said, I think, I don't know what day I told you this during the week, and you were like, I'm surprised for someone to, that for me, I think you thought that that was an odd choice for me to be doing my options on, but it was working out well for me. And then I'll tell you, Thursday, Friday would have been the opposite. I would have had to been playing puts all day in order to make anything. So, have
You know
you?
what I say? If it works, then work it out. Like you took advantage of some opportunities that I saw, but I just didn't take advantage of because I primarily trade ticker symbol SPY and QQQ. So
Yes,
I'm a
yes,
little bit biased. I'm working on it. That's something my own little personal issue that I'm working on as being a full time trader. Like I have a personal bias against trading against individual stocks, and there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't really suit my needs and my style of trading. So I tend to stick with
but
what I know.
just like on one of my shorts this week, you put on there Tesla. You put the S in front of Tesla and made it into Stressla.
Hmm.
This volatility, I feel it made it easy for someone to play
Yeah,
when it's
if you
going
if you
up.
get it right, you're really gonna
Yeah,
gonna profit nice if you get it right as far as your trade is concerned. You got
yeah.
a good entry and you got a good exit. You can really make some nice gains off of Tesla. Just it moves so fast, like,
Yes,
whoo.
that's what I'm saying, that I was obviously enjoying about it, but I did not. I'm not you. I'm telling you, was it Friday? I was telling you, yeah, it was Friday. Friday late morning. I was saying to you, I want to put lessons on something, but we
Hmm.
didn't get that going, because I could see I need to get more versed in that with the way that the market is going to be, because I'm used to uh, the playing calls. So all right, so let's just talk a little bit about, of course, what happened with CrowdStrike. I don't think that was officially on the agenda, but I wanted to touch on it. So, were you impacted personally around your town while you were out and about at all on Friday or Saturday?
No, not at all. I wasn't
No,
impacted at all.
no.
Um, I had actually watched a video. It's kind of sort of on the conspiracy theory side of things, but
Mhm.
anyway, I had actually watched a video and they were touching on that particular topic, and they were telling all of the viewers not to hold off on updating your devices and things of that nature. And I was getting all of these notifications to update my computer and my phone and things of that nature, and I just did something after watching that. I don't listen to everything I hear, but something's telling me I should just listen this time and see what happens. So I didn't update any of my devices or anything like that. But I wasn't affected anyway. Maybe I would have been affected if I would have done so. Who knows? But my thing is this, as far as things like that, just stay prepared, stay informed as to what's going in the news, and instead of being afraid, try to always be in control of your current situation, whether it be financially, whether it be out here and rather in life in general. If you're in control of your personal situation and you're looking out for your best interest, not just you, but everyone that resides under your same roof and your close family members and associates and things of that nature, then you really don't have nothing to worry about. A lot of these events that take place around the world, mainly scare tactics to keep you in fear so that you can have one of these leaders portray themselves as some sort of savior for a potential vote or something like that. I don't mean to get into politics or anything like that, but a lot of these events happen because of that. Also, to potentially scare you out of your long-term investments.
Yes, yes, yes. So I pulled this up. This is CrowdStrike. If you guys are watching the news, you know that CrowdStrike was the hot topic as to they are linked with Microsoft, and it was the issue with their software that led to this issue that we were having. And their stock is down 11.1% as of Friday, but let me look at the month. They're down 19.88%. But you see, dramatic drop on Friday with everything that was going on. So I only heard one person say to me that their coworker threw $100 into CrowdStrike because they because of the situation. Have you come across anyone that said that they were going to invest while they knew that this company was beat down, and just for the future because they assume that they're going to make a comeback?
No, I didn't hear me, and I don't really talk to any other investors other than you personally out off a camera. Everyone
Mhm.
else I interact with, they're all on camera. Like anyone in my personal life, they're not in the market, not yet. But I'm working on them. I'm working on them.
Okay. Did you see any articles, anything related to how the short sellers were making out with this company and this
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, a lot of these events are pretty much predetermined, and we're just not privy to them. Because if you notice, when right before a lot of these events happen, you notice certain companies, it attracts a lot of short volume. The institutions and politicians and banks and what have you, they pile into short positions, and then boom, the event happens, and you find out a week later or a few days after the event happened that all of these short sellers made all of this money off of this particular event that happened. It's kind of funny.
Okay. Let's take a look at Shannon's question before we move on to the S&P. So, how do you handle? Let me unhighlight it. I'm sorry. How do you handle investing into your IRA versus brokerage? Do you do more aggressively in one versus the other? Same investments. You want to answer that first, Press?
Yes. So basically, I invest a lot more into my IRA account versus my taxable brokerage account, as well as I have a lot of safer assets that are included in my IRA portfolios. Meaning, I don't have many very high risk stocks or small cap companies or things of that nature. I simply just hold them in my regular brokerage account. I stick to ETFs and more dividend paying companies now, so more than big tech and things like that. Like I'm pretty well diverse overall in my IRA account. I have a lot of healthcare and energy and as well as technology that's included in my IRA account. Now my regular taxable brokerage account, I'm a lot more aggressive because I'm more able to get in and out of these investments if I feel the need to close out a position or rotate into another position. I don't normally do. I normally just buy and hold, but if that were to ever happen, then I can move accordingly.
Okay. I wasn't sure what you meant by aggressive, the type of investments or the
Yeah.
amount of money that the type of it. So yeah, I'm the same as Prez. So my retirement account, especially because it was being, um, I was getting a company match. So I was really trying to strive to make sure that that was over 10% between my contribution and my company match. And then, in the future, I still have hopes that I will get my pension from two previous companies that I worked at, as well as Social Security. So, with all of that, I feel that I'm in a good place of having a retirement saving on track to be above 15% of my income. And then when it comes to my taxable accounts, the accounts that I mostly share here and what I share through my channel, I those are early retirement, bridge accounts, things that I can have flexibility into tapping into. But because I'm contributing more heavily to my retirement account, less money goes there. So, but I do as much as I can. And I also try to contribute, or I do contribute to my daughter's investment account. So that's how I go about it. And as far as overlap, the only investment that I had that was well, it's not even overlap because I do FXAIX at Fidelity, whereas I do VOO in my taxable account. But I would say that's the only closest thing that I have with overlap. Most of my retirement investments are not into individual an individual stock or anything like that. It's target date funds and ETFs or mutual funds, things like that. So um, Rod wants to. Rod says, "Oops, he was here on the wrong channel. He doesn't want to be over here. He doesn't want to visit us under Points Blank. He wants to visit us under Investing
Yeah,
with
I
Rod.
was just reading that.
You're welcome to visit us under either channel, Rod. Thanks for being here. And Trudy, thank you for greeting everyone and being an awesome mod and member. So I like let's talk a little bit about the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the weekly performance of that. I know this we already touched on how the small caps were doing better. So let's just
Yeah.
get into what's been going on with their past week, the sharpest weekly loss since April. More insights on that, Prez?
Okay, so basically this week the S&P and Nasdaq posted their sharpest weekly loss since April as investors rotate from big tech to small caps, seen by some as benefiting from interest rate cuts. So, like I said earlier, a lot of these small cap companies are interest rate sensitive, like your companies like SoFi and Realty Income and companies like that. They're rate sensitive, so they've been performing exceptionally well compared to the rest of the Nasdaq, like your big tech and your Mag 7 companies and companies like that. They've all been selling off while the smaller cap companies have been performing really well. I've been noticing Palantir has been on a nice slow creep to the upside, as well as SoFi, and my Realty Income position is really turned flipped green because it was red for a nice little minute. And I just
Yeah.
been steadily adding to it. And throughout all of my portfolios, even the portfolio that I, my main portfolio, I'm like, wow, I'm still in the red. Let me just keep on try to add more to it, add more to it. It's like it's time for me to add more to it. So I just kept doing so, and it's finally starting to pay off. The power of compound interest is like undefeated.
Yeah. So it's funny. The other day I did a video, I think it was called Surviving Red Days.
Hmm.
And I was looking at some of my stocks. Most of my stocks were red when overall they were everything was in the green. But
Hmm.
when I filtered down to the day, they were in the red. But two things that were not, and I didn't share this in the video, Realty Income and Target were actually having green days while the rest almost everything else in my portfolio was having a red day, like the Google and the Apple and all of my major, the more significant positions,
Hmm.
especially in my portfolio at Webull. Now over on Moo Moo, Realty Income is my my big boy over there with my 100 and I think 4 shares now. So uh but I was only looking at it just for to have the conversation of how do you deal with a red day? How do you deal with a red week? So, did you do anything differently? Well, I know you stick to your schedule in your personal investing outside of your YouTube portfolio. Did you do anything differently to take advantage of any dips on certain stocks or the S&P as a whole, like a VOO or anything like that? Did you add anything extra?
No, I didn't do anything different. I stick to. I'm very strict as far as my investment strategy is concerned. Like I'm not worried about the price today or tomorrow or next year. Like I'm really looking 10, 15, 20 years or longer down the road. Lord willing, I live that long. You understand what I'm saying? That's where I'm looking at. Like I'm not even worried about the now. Whereas though the former, but my former self would have been more worried about the now. Like, let me see what's really on sale. Like, for example, I do own Nike long term. Now it's been beat down since they reported last reported earnings and things of that nature, but it's just not time for me to add to that position yet. So I'm not going to until that time comes because I don't want to be overweight in certain positions and it's making my pyramid look not like a pyramid.
Mhm, mhm. Is there any potential for you to add anything new to your portfolio, do you think? Or you're there's no room for anything new?
Not as of yet. No, I would have to. No, not right now. Nope.
Okay.
Now, if there were to ever come a time where I'm able to double the amount that I'm currently investing now, then I would consider it because I would like to be invested into a lot more companies than what I'm invested into now. It's like like I said, I'm like a kid in the candy store when I open up my brokerage account or I'm scrolling through different stock charts and I'm like, yeah, this is a good investment. Yeah, this is a good trade. Yeah, this is a good investment. You can't be involved in everything, but you understand.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I
yeah.
were to, if I were ever to be able to increase how much I'm able to invest on a regular basis consistently, then yeah, I would consider adding more companies.
So, we touched on, Tesla, well, we did talk about Tesla, and I didn't show Microsoft. So, do you think did you expect that the performance of Microsoft would have been, impacted more because of what was going on with CrowdStrike than where it ended the week? I
I
think
actually did.
I
I
did too.
actually did. I
Yeah.
was looking for it to really fall off of a cliff, and it didn't, and it
Mhm.
surprised me. Like,
Yeah.
well, if CrowdStrike is falling, and they're saying that Microsoft systems were affected also, then
Mhm.
why is Microsoft still holding on? And the rest of the Mag Seven took a beating on Friday, basically.
Yeah. So you see on Friday, at the end of the market week, it did look at this though. In the aftermarket, it came way down. But overall, for the week, the way it's showing, they were only down 0.74% on the week. So, yeah, I was
Hmm.
expecting to see it more drastic just because of their association with CrowdStrike and what was going on. So, excuse me. So, yeah, a major tech sell-off went on during the week, but, I don't let any of this scare me. Do you think I know you touched on it already a little bit about how people are, uh can get shaken and afraid and sell out of their stocks. What companies do you think that people might be holding that they might, be scared get scared out of as we're going through this stage and this time that we're going through right now
Mainly
throughout
Tesla and Nvidia
okay.
because they move so fast and they're known to the behavior of them when they run up, they're known to basically go to the moon. And when they crash, they basically go straight to HE double hockey sticks. You already know.
Mhm.
But yeah, they can potentially be shaken out of those positions. And I would strongly say don't do it. Like stay the course. Like especially if you bought at the top, that's when you have to look at the technical side of things as well as the fundamental and prepared to just continue to dollar cost average and potentially double down if you can to hold on to this good investment because they're at the end of the day, in my opinion, they're very good companies, very good long term companies. You can't go outside and not see a Tesla. And as far as the gaming sector, gaming computers is a big thing now, and Nvidia does well with that. So can't shake me out.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be me. It won't be me.
The
I'm
last
waiting.
thing I want, and this is something that I have experienced in the past, being new to this space. The last thing I want is for you to see the market coming down and you sell out of your Nvidia or you sell out of your Tesla. Maybe you had a little too much of it. You understand what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, you sell out of it, and as soon as you sell it, you find out that it done made new all-time highs. Now you're ready to buy back into it, and you're gonna buy the top and rinse and repeat the same process that I didn't want you to repeat from the get-go. You bought it high and then you sold it low. That's hustling backwards.
Yes, most definitely. So yeah, I will definitely not be I will not be touching my Tesla. I'm waiting for I have a vision for it. I don't know what year. I want to look back maybe in 2030 and say, okay, yes, Tesla has it really together. This delay with the robo taxi. I'm just going to be here impatiently waiting for the day that my Tesla position is looking beautiful in my portfolio.
I see a comment in the chat. Frugality is life. You should definitely buy stocks you believe in. So when they do drop, you buy more. Yes, and also be aware of the behavior of the price action of these companies that you believe in. Like, is it a fast mover? Is it known to shoot to the moon when it's doing well? Is it known to fall off a cliff when it has bad news? You really gotta learn the technical side of things when as well as the fundamental things when you investing into companies that you believe in.
Mhm. Yeah. The ones my little strugglers, the Target and the Disney. I'm always talking about Disney. I know you I you know, you I believed in it enough to add it to the portfolio, but yeah, struggle.
That's when I
So,
would. That's a company that I wish I actually did own. I'm actually liking Disney. I've been doing a little bit of doing a lot more research on Disney. Remember we covered it just a few weeks ago, and I'm liking Disney. It's like they're I see them long term. They're gonna get out of this jam that they're currently in as far as politics and things of that nature. The scamdemic is already over, so they're already making money again, and people are starting to go to their attractions and things of that nature.
mhm. So have you taken a look at, hmm, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name.
It's okay.
Oh, never mind. Let me go on to another question while I'm thinking about that. Have you Did you are you d can we go over the calendar of this upcoming week earnings? Who are the most notable that you wanted to take a look at or highlight for everyone be on the
Okay,
to
give me
have?
1 second. Let me pull up my cheat sheet. Notable earnings this week is Tesla, of course, who reports earnings on Tuesday after the market closes. You also have Ford, which is pretty noticeable in my opinion, who reports earnings on Wednesday after the market closes, and as well as IBM, also on Wednesday after the market closes. Now, as far as the earnings expectations, I'm not 100% sure. Now, these could be potential buying opportunities or a potential short-term trade, like buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. Just be sure to make sure you do your own research as far as the technical aspect of these said companies is concerned. Um, who else is reporting earnings this week? Also have Visa and Coca-Cola on Tuesday. Coca-Cola is before market. General Motors is before the market opens, and Visa is after the market closes on Tuesday. Let me see if anything else. AT&T reports earnings on Wednesday before the market opens. Um, Waste Management, one of my personal investments, reports earnings after the market closes on Wednesday, and 3M reports earnings on Friday before the market opens.
Okay, okay. I So, Nora, do you plan on trading anything based on earnings this week? Let us know. So, yeah, I think Tesla earnings is gonna be exciting. Out of everything that you mentioned, Tesla, I think, is the only company that I own as an individual stock. I did recently cut Ford out of my portfolio, but it was a very small position, and I think we've talked about it before. The only reason I ever
Mhm.
had Ford is because of free stock that I was accumulating from Webull. So I just got rid of that as a line item. If Tesla drops, I might buy a share this week. Okay.
I used to actually trade for it a lot. I used to trade like the end of the previous bull cycle. I used to trade for it like a lot, like swing trade, buy the shares, and this was before I even learned about options. I used to actually buy the shares
Hmm.
and swing trade them throughout the whatever current channel that it was in. It was fun learning.
Yeah, definitely noticed the time. Well, I did, like I said, I didn't have many. I didn't have much of it, but I would watch it and it would move from like 10 at the most over time up to 18 or so, and then it would come
Hmm.
back down to 12, and it was just stagnant
Yeah.
as an investment. Just never excited me, and I definitely didn't want to build up into that position. It wasn't something that I felt inclined to do that. So now it's gone until we'll see if I get some more free for it again. I won't hang on to it and watch it
I
for
noticed that I didn't mean to cut you off, but I noticed that
Mhm.
Neo said something in the chat about SCHW. I just wrote it down. I took a note of it. I'm gonna have to really look into it off behind the scenes, and I'll get back to you on that one. I didn't want him to think I ignored him. That was a while ago. He put that in the chat a while
Okay.
ago.
What kind of is that SCHW?
It looks like it's an ETF. It looks like it's some sort of swab ETF. Just guessing from off of the ticker symbol letters.
Mhm,
I'm not
mhm.
sure what it is right now.
Here it is. Charles Schwab Corp common stock. So, yeah. So you're gonna
That looks
you
like the actual Charles Schwab company.
yeah. So who comments it? Neophyte? Neo?
Yes,
That Neo,
yes.
okay. Okay.
He asked me,
Um,
was it undervalued? I'm gonna take a look at it behind the scenes, do the fundamentals, and look at they. I want to take a real good look at their balance sheet, and that takes me a little bit of time. I don't like doing it from a quick glance.
okay. All right. Well, I think we have run through our topic. I think I added through a few other things in there, hot topics
Hmm.
from the week, but nothing that I'm sure you didn't, nothing unexpected, right, Press?
Like that crowd strike curveball you snuck in there, like yeah.
CrowdStrike curveball. Oh, you know what I was trying to ask you if you've taken a look at Broadcom since the stock split.
I glanced at it a few times. I'm not as 100% sure as to how it's been performing. Like I have
Mhm.
it on the my live stream watch list currently,
Yeah.
and I just basically been reporting the day to day, the intraday price action. I haven't really looked at it, but it looks like it's been down a little bit since the stock split. But that could be tied into big tech selling off because it is one of the big tech companies. It's not in the Mag 7, but it is a big technology type of company.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Hey, Peachy, thanks for tuning in. Blessed Life Journey. Rosalie, thank you guys for tuning in today. Is there any other questions? Because we're coming up, getting close to our hour.
Hmm.
And guess what? I have to go to work. I usually go to work at 11 a.m., but I have to work today in the evening. I haven't worked yet. So,
I almost hit a line from Martin, but I had to catch myself just now when you said you got to go to work.
what? You gonna treat me like Tommy? Like I don't
Yeah,
got a job?
I
I don't
almost
know. I
did.
don't like I don't come on now,
I'm,
press.
I'm sorry.
Did you used to watch did you used to watch In Living Color?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Do you
did regularly.
okay. Do you remember the Jamaicans? They would just be coming in the house for 2 seconds and go back out to their next job?
Yeah, you talking about Hey Man. That was the name of
Yeah,
the segment,
okay.
Hey Man.
All right, listen. So I am not the one to tell me that I don't got no job.
I'm trying to be like Hey Man. Like I got 15 jobs.
Yes.
All passive income now.
Yeah, I gotta go look. I have to go look on I could look on YouTube and see if I could find some clips now that I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
you
that.
probably could.
So did you check out Eddie Murphy Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix, the new one
I
that came
actually
out?
didn't.
You
Nope,
didn't?
I
Okay.
didn't.
Oh.
I'm personally not even interested. I like the old movies, but when they wait so long to do a sequel, like it makes me lose interest because I wasted my time with Coming to America 2. We wait 20 something years for
Uh,
that sequel, and then when they did it, it was so bad. I'm like, oh my goodness, man. I'm glad I illegally streamed this. Y'all didn't hear that, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't actually pay money to go to a movie theater to see it.
Uh, all right. So Biden stepping down. Let's see. Biden stepping down. How do you think the market was going to react?
That I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to bring more uncertainty into the market, so we could trade flat. That's a possibility. I really don't know. I can only guess at this point. Like nobody know unless we got that crystal ball. You know who got the crystal ball?
Mm,
We
I
can
mean,
only we can only wait and see what's going to happen this week. And if you're trading, of course, use a stop loss and don't try to fight the trend. The trend is your friend. That's all we can do at times like this when it's uncertain times. And don't try to be out here forcing trades because you just got to make some money today because you want to take a screenshot and show your friends. Like
mhm, okay. Well, I know I got a little off topic there, but not, I can tie it to it has to do with Netflix. I'm over here talking about movies and other things. But you see any questions that you wanna
Thaddeus Freeman says SCHW fell 16% this week, trying to move into banking from only investment. I don't understand that. Fast Eddie says sell, sell, sell. Yeah, I don't understand that comment.
mhm,
Are you looking for the technical aspect of it? But I'm gonna cover that probably tomorrow afternoon when I do my closing bell show. I'll take a closer look at SCHW because I have it written down right here in my notes, and I'm curious. When someone puts a ticker symbol in the chat, I get curious and I start writing it down and start doing homework on it. So
mhm.
it'll be fun.
Okay. All right. Well, I am ready to wrap it up, and it is hot here in my studio as usual, but I can't. I think it's a bit noisy when I have the air on when I'm up here. But thank you, Press, for being an awesome co-host as
Not a
always.
problem. Always a pleasure.
As always, and we will be working on our topic for next week as no one ever has any topic suggestions, so I'm not going to ask. Warren
No, they
Buffett,
never do. I believe
President.
Warren Buffett stole some of Charles Schwab, I think. Do we know what Warren Buffett said? Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Oh, he said sold. I thought he said said. Fast Tim A says Bank of America. Neil says he always has topics.
Mm.
I don't be ignoring you, Neil. I actually was just on your channel today. Neil actually has a YouTube channel for those who don't know. Yeah.
I follow Neo.
Oh, I didn't know you did.
I
But
watch his getting out of debt videos and stuff.
mhm.
I think I was telling you that last week, that how did it go so long? I have Neo in my shorts and everything, and I wasn't even following Neo until recently.
I remember somebody mentioned it and then he mentioned it and I just got around to it earlier today as to actually checking out his channel. I said, let me go check out his channel. I said in my comments, I said, let me go check out his channel, see what he got
Mhm,
going on over there.
mhm.
Not bad, not bad.
All right. Well, that is it. Do you
What
think
do
that
we
we could
think?
ever d Oh, go ahead.
What do you think will happen to Berkshire B when Warren Buffett dies? Is that priced into the stock? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't even know who would be second in command if he was to leave this earth. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm gonna have to. I want to know, like,
Maybe
who next in
maybe
command? Like,
maybe we need to do a show that just has all of the things that Prez puts down in that notebook, and we just dive into it.
oh
I don't
man, if
know
I
what
was I'm gonna send you a picture of my notepad one day so you can see my sloppy handwriting. How I got stuff scribbled everywhere. It's like no uniform patterns or nothing. I don't use
Mm,
the lines. I just start writing stuff down anywhere on a piece of paper.
mhm.
Topic. Best dividend companies to invest into.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad. I like that. You
All
mean like
right.
a top 5 or a top 10? Maybe a top 10. I don't like revealing the topics because I don't want anyone to steal our topic. It has happened in the past. You know
I'll
who
just
you are,
I'll just say it.
and so
One
do
one
we.
one day, Prez and I did a topic, and 3 hours later, someone else did our same topic, and I was in my feelings a little bit about it. I said they couldn't wait a day, a week, a little time.
No, they jump right on it. They seized the moment. That was funny.
But yeah, I'm over here. I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. I think it's been 5 minutes since I said that it was the end of the show, and we're still up here. So
Neo says the next coming months are historically bad months for returns. Talk about that.
mhm, mhm. Okay. Well, we've gotten some feedback on upcoming shows, and like I said, I gotta go get ready. It was great seeing you, Frez. It was great seeing everybody here in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back again live, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, every Sunday, until Prez goes on his Caribbean cruise and stands me up. We will be here. All right.
I'm on my own.
Take care, guys.